from this computer. All right. So back to Che's. Che, you're about to say something. Like I heard your voice start up, and then it just like that's when my internet died. What were you gonna say?
I just asked if it's spinning too much or too distracting.
Which part?
Oh, the middle part. Over here.
Like this slide back, you're saying?
Yeah, this part.
No, I don't think so. The only problem that you're gonna run into is the timing of these elements, because right here, I'm seeing how close the tiger gets to the other character, and then it pauses. Like if you can see that the tiger would have already swung his sword at this moment, you know. So you might need to start. Let's see. Boom. So, all right. Well, so which character are we supposed to identify with? Like, are we like rooting for a character in this?
Oh, actually, I don't think about them much.
So I'm just thinking about how these shots are kind of set up. Let's see. Yeah. Because I like this moment. It's just I think you're just gonna need to play around with the time of it. But I don't think it's too distracting or anything. I like the orbital cameras like this. You're probably gonna want to switch over to a camera with aim if you're not using one. It kind of looks like you might not be using one right now. If you go up to create cameras and aim, this way you can keep. Like, let me open up another panel with that camera. There we go. Let's get a hammer in the middle. So camera with aim, if you get your camera in the scene, you can key it as usual, but you also get this little aim control right here. So you can just put that on either a character or in between the characters if you're going for like a 3-point or a 3/4 view. But yeah, so see how you can just get a nice orbital sort of effect on this, nice and easily. If you're looking at this bottom left panel, like as I rotate this around, see how it's like it's going to be a lot cleaner than sort of, because I see right here, like on some of these parts, like how it gets pushed in a little bit, kind of pushes out. It would just be a lot cleaner and steadier if you use a camera and aim right there.
That would be great.
Yeah. And then, but yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking it though. Yeah, very sick. Very sick. I think you're ready to start kind of going in and animating this bad boy. Just a little bit of timing stuff in here, because I like to zoom in on the face, and then immediately going into like a cool like attacking pose on the lion on this. Yeah, that's gonna be dope. I think you're good to start sort of setting in some different keys and stuff for the actual scene. What do y'all think, class? Any kind of directorial comments or notes that you guys want to see out of this? Let me bring up my chat window. Well, doesn't sound like it. Doesn't sound like it. All righty. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing that. I'm excited to see where this scene ends up.
Yep. Thanks, Mike.
It's gonna be super sick. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Let's go back to ye old art sharing channel and Sammy. Well, let's see. What do we got going? Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. And then during that, I know this is just a play blast, but you're doing that jump across the buildings. This part right here is gonna need some help eventually. The just this run, it looks like you haven't done like a bunch in it already. So
yeah, I just had one of my students send me a video of her doing that because I didn't have a reference for it. I just
perfect. Yeah.
So I'm gonna just like copy paste that right now.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Just the old visual mocap, you know?
I mean, yeah, basically. I mean, she's much better at dance than I am, so I figured I should get like an accurate representation of what this would look like.
Yeah, yeah. Did that little FK fix that I sent you your workout?
Yeah, that's what I'm working with right now. This is the one. This I can send a little mini version of what I'm doing right now. But it looks way better with the switches in it.
Yeah, yeah. It's just it's gonna be annoying to get like the switch between them clean, you know. But it looks pretty nice on this first one. And
it's a little like sticky in a couple spots, and I'm really not sure if that's my computer or not.
Oh, no, it's probably Maya. It's probably just Maya.
So I'm getting a real computer in a couple of days, so I won't have to deal with internet issues anymore. I'm so excited.
Wait,
but
you've been working with a fake computer this whole time?
Yeah, it lives in Silicon Valley.
Wait, are you like renting it or something, or what?
Yeah, it's like a monthly thing because my computer is garbage and I needed something that would run Maya. So I just kind of link up to Silicon Valley, but everybody's playing video games right now. It's just really laggy.
Damn, that's sick though. I didn't even know that was a service that was offered.
I didn't either. My dad found it, but the computer I'm getting is better than that one.
Oh, get shit on
Silicon Valley computer. I'm so excited, huh?
Get shit on Silicon Valley computer.
For real. 16 gigs of RAM. Try 64.
You're getting
Silicon Valley.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Everything is fake. Fuck it all. Oh no. Benny took a dark turn after fixing that hammer.
No, I work in a bank, so I'm always telling people money's fake. Everything's just
money is
we're always just pretending.
Just add more numbers to my account.
Right? Money machine go burr.
Exactly.
Can we talk about Bitcoin and how stupid that is?
Can we talk about the American society and how fake everything? We're just pretending this is how things are supposed. Anyway, sorry. And back to animation.
The class is over.
Yeah,
everyone's internet cuts out.
Benny's corruption arc. I'm so sorry to tell you, my corruption arc has happened a long time ago.
Oh no, well, you're in the redemption arc then. Now, clearly.
When America gets into a redemption arc, we'll start talking.
That's not happening. I'm sorry.
No, I know it's not. No, it's not my lifetime.
But yeah, this is looking dope so far. It's just gonna need more. I'd say watch out for the timing for some of this. Like boom, right there. There's a little bit of like quickness into this. So yeah, just clean up the timing. But yeah, and then also clean up. Make sure your wrists don't break as they're going through different poses.
I just put another video in that same thingy. I don't know if it'll show up for you, but it's got
maybe like refresh or something.
My 0.1 seconds of where I fixed some of the arm stuff.
Oh yeah. That's already looking, yeah,
Okay.
it's looking sick. On this part, this settle in here. Wait, that's not from the right camera direction. Never mind. Oh yeah, is this gonna be? I would say get a final camera in here at some point, because that's gonna be really important. Because if you're doing like certain camera moves, you're gonna want to be polishing to that, like to the frame that you're looking at, you know.
Okay.
So definitely get your final camera in there before you go too far with polishing.
Okay.
But yeah, these cleaner, like I can already feel a lot of that in there for this stuff. Looking pretty nice. Your arcs get a little bit messy in here. It looks like they might not have been cleaned yet, like for that right arm right there. But yeah, looking good. Looking good. Good stuff. Yeah.
Word.
Nice. All right. Thanks for sharing. Let's hop into the next one. Benny's hammer files, and then Tam. What you got, Tam? Oh shit. Oh shit. Hell yeah, Tam. This is looking sick. I like how big the hat is in this picture. But yeah,
yeah.
This is looking fantastic. Holy shit. Wonderful work. Oh my god. I'm super excited. Big hat. Yeah. Yeah, this is super sick. Even the face is looking good. Yeah. My god. Yeah, just keep going. I'm excited to see where this ends up.
Okay, thanks.
I'm really
I
excited.
actually wanted to ask you if we could like do a demo later on like doing braids.
Braids. Yeah, okay. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I have like 4 to 5 like failed attempts. They just look like sausages.
It just looks like sausages. Yeah. I mean, I've never done braids before, so it'll be like a learning experience for me as well. But that'll be fine. It'll be cool. I have an idea. I have multiple ideas actually. I have a few in there. So, but yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah. So we'll do that later as well. So let me write. So I want to do. I want to do a little bit of help David with that helmet stuff. I want to do a little bit of that. Was there any animation that y'all wanted to see me clean up? I don't remember anything as of right now, but let me know if I was gonna do something. Then I'll do some braids. But yeah, just so I have a list of things to go through after we look at the animation for folks stuff. But yeah, so yeah, David hard surface helmet stuff, then braids, and then yeah, let me know, animators, if you have a file that you want to send me over to see how I would approach fixing something. We can definitely do that as well, and we'll just keep tacking stuff on to the end. I'm trying to figure out a way to make clothes fit better. She looks a little misshapen once I put her cloak and skirt on. So you're saying that you would change the proportion of the character?
Like, is there a way to make it like fall better? Like, I know there's something called dynamics, but like I don't think I have that on the version I'm using.
No, yeah, there's some cool cloth stuff in like 2021, but 2020 does not have that. Are you saying that like the underlying anatomy is not looking right in comparison to where the clothes are, or what?
No, I mean honestly, I think it's a problem that I'm setting myself up into. Like the clothes don't fall properly. Like I'm fine with the body frame, but like it's just I don't know if I'm doing like the fall right.
Oh, okay. So like just the folds of the cloth, you're saying, like the way that
is
it
there a
hugs
way
the
to
form.
like get like creases and stuff, like all of that, like it looks really
Yeah. I'll show you. I'll tack that on as well. It's basically what I do is a little bit of focal shift, which is something we haven't talked about yet. and Dam Standard as well.
Okay.
Those in conjunction are really useful for it. And also, so, also looking at reference, like real life reference of stuff.
Yeah.
I always, like, whenever I'm sculpting clothing, I always have like another image of just that type of clothes, like whatever, like jeans or like khakis or something. I always have that open on the other monitor, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, it's looking fantastic so far. I'm really excited to see where this ends up.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm gonna add on to that React business that we got going on. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, it's looking sick, Benny. This is Benny's hammer, y'all. I really like the material that you chose for this. It's got that like perfect faded sort of look to it. Like this hammer's been used to make many a project. You got some scraping on there too. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm about. I'm liking this. Good stuff. This is perfect, dude.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, you also learned a lot on the process too, which is what this project is sort of designed for. But yeah, what do you think about doing next?
I think, honestly, I think I'm going to go ahead and just model, because I want to do the 2D toon shader.
Yeah.
But it requires me learning Blender.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
should be a whole class in and of itself. So
yeah, definitely worth a whole class. Well, I mean, there's some like Maya doesn't have the fancy grease pencil. It does have a grease pencil, but it's not as sophisticated at all. Yeah. But there are some other things you can do. Like you can do an AI, like an Arnold toon shader, AI toon right here. And then let's see, just real quick, Arnold, open on run review, BB, Arnold light, area light. Let's get this in the scene. Right here, expand that out, press play, boom. Also have to crank up the exposure to 10 probably. And we can go to 8. So we have just a trash render going on in here. That's fine. But if we go to our material, boom, bang. Where is it? Base. We're looking for this tone map. And here you can forward this to a gradient instead, I believe is what we're looking for. Let's find, oh, ramp. That's what we're looking for. Ramp. And then you can set a bunch of different things on here and then do interpolation none and see what that looks like. Okay, so that's starting to look like something. Let's get this a bit stronger though. So it's definitely a garbage render, but you can see
yeah,
kind of how you're starting to get some toon shader effects in there. So yeah, there's some alternatives in Maya if you're curious about that as well.
yeah, I saw that Maya had something like that. I think during our first go around in computer animation.
Yep.
Yeah. I think if anything, I'll just go ahead and model, and if I want to get some kind of toon shader-esque thing,
yeah,
I'll work on other programs after the class, like Epsynth, and figure out stuff from there. Have you heard of Epsynth?
No, never heard of that. What is that?
If you Google it on YouTube, EBSYNTH, Epsynth. It's really interesting. Yeah, it's really weird. You can like film something and then go into Photoshop or something and draw over that, bring it into Epsynth, and it pretty much tracks those lines to edges and forms and shades and whatnot, and you can like essentially do a weird shitty version of rotoscope animation, but if you give it keyframes, it's pretty much like 2D Maya. It's really weird.
Oh, okay. Okay. I
Really
think,
bizarre.
yeah, what the hell?
I've been
I think
seeing
I've
some
seen
pretty
this
gnarly
before.
stuff.
It
Yeah.
basically interpolate. Yeah, okay, I've seen this before. Yeah, this is super sick though.
Yeah.
Super sick looking. Yeah, dude, hell yeah. I like that. I like that you're thinking about stuff to learn after the course as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so figure out what you're gonna be doing for next week since you're done. You're done with this one.
Yeah, because you said that last class that some people have done environments that looked 2D-ish. You showed us some of those examples at the beginning of the class. I think, and they did that through Maya and the programs we're being learning in this semester. Is that correct?
Yeah. Maya and those some of those that I showed were in Unity as well, doing their own shader stuff. So so keep that in mind.
Okay, because I think that would be the scope of what I would want to do if I was going to go 2D. But if not, I would just go and try and model a person and really go ham on that.
Yeah, dude, I'm so down for that too, because you already had a good person in computer animation 1 before Zbrush. So if you had Zbrush at your disposal, I'm sure that you could kill it. So
thank you.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Ricardo. Oh, that's just the graph editor. Zbrush destroyed a lot of the detail in the face. Damn. Yeah, it did. It did. But I mean, it's looking great though. What you can do, since this character's wearing a shirt anyways, is that you could go in and kind of take the neck and head off this model, or you can split it into a different subtool. I could show you how to do that. So you could just undo until like before that Z remesh function that you did, and then I can show you how to trim that off. But this is looking fantastic. You even got some folds in the clothing going on. These hands are looking pretty good too. Like I'm liking the proportions of the face. I'm really excited for this. This is looking fantastic. Yeah. Would you want me to show you how to split that off, Diana? So we can keep the head and the neck as a separate subtool. Would you like to see that or no? I think I got it. Oh, hell yeah. Whew. There we go, Diana. Good stuff. Good stuff. Diana doesn't need our help, class. Diana's ascended beyond. And then Maria. I just watch YouTube a lot. I mean, it's clearly working. It's clearly working. Like this is fantastic. Did you check out like the Polygon and flip normals or any of the other ones? I did. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, they've got great resources on that. Fantastic stuff. They did. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, those people are so badass. That's why I preach and even put in the syllabus links to their stuff. Found really cool tutorials for eyelashes too. Hell yeah. Yeah, to get that like sort of it's almost like an Overwatchy style eyelash. I really like that. It's very appealing sort of form in there. All right, let's check out Maria's. Yeah, this is super sick. All right, these two first punches are really clean in here. The waist, watch out for the waist's translation on this area. See how the waist's arc is basically a square in this camera frame? Boom, right there. Definitely get that to be, because it goes up, over, and then ends around here. See that? So instead, get that to just be a nice arc. And that'll dramatically help that portion. But honestly, the posing, the timing, the transitions between, super sick. Some of this is a little bit fast. This might be a bit fast right here. Let's see it in motion. Yeah, it's a little bit fast. The character's getting a little bit lost in that area. I would try to keep them, because see how quickly we move from this, like over to the like we move from facing away from camera to sliding to facing towards camera right here. I would try to keep this body a little bit more on the left over here. And then that way on the second punch right here, that's when you can sell that forward movement. I would try to delay that a little bit if possible. But honestly, this is looking super clean. Like I've like these first two punches, especially, boom, boom. Like just look at how the body is going through each of those. I like those, boom, boom. Yeah, just some small changes, and you're like, you're pretty much already done though. Like everything else is so clean. Those are like my only notes pretty much. I would say maybe a little bit of extra dynamicism it could be in the torso. Like see how like on this one it stays pretty. It's not moving the way I wanted because I'm moving this weekend and I've been packing on, so I did not have a lot of time. So I mean, Maria still looks fantastic. Like if you had time to clean the scene up, like I have no doubt that it would turn out amazing, you know. But yeah, just a few kind of spacing notes on this. But yeah, fantastic stuff. Good work. Good stuff. All right, there we go. That's it. That's it for class critiques. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go. We could just go on break right now, actually, and then yeah. Let's do that. So let's go on break. Let's come back at 6:45 after you eat some dins, snack on some stuff, and then we're gonna look at Animation 4's films. And then after that, I'm going to go over David's helmet stuff, braids, and clothing in general. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys want, basically at this point in the class, I'm just a walking tutorial. I'm just a walking, talking tutorial that gives notes. So it's kind of up to you guys if you guys are curious about a certain part of the pipeline, or if you guys are running in like struggling with some sort of part of the process, then please ask me especially during class time. Like that's what I'm here for. It's like I just want to help you guys out now, you know, like pretty much all the lectures are done. You guys have all the tools in your hands at this point. But if you need either a refresher or you're struggling with something or problems are arising somewhere else, like please hit me up, because that's what I'm here for. So yeah, let's go on break, and everybody be back at 6:45 for Animation 4 check-ins. All right. See you guys in a bit. Okay, let's see. Worked. 2.9 megabytes. Hell yeah. So I'm going to download that bad boy. All right, and it's auto-saving this project for no reason. All right. Gonna download Betty as well. If anyone else wants to get a demo on stuff, I'm going to go over some sculpting stuff with Tam. Tam, if you want to send me over, if you can save out your .ztl as well, that'd be pretty cool. If you just go up to save as and see if you can do that. Also, I've noticed that if you do a merge visible and then do the save as, sometimes it can really dramatically decrease the file size. So you might be able to send it over Discord. It does seem like you've gone pretty high poly. So that might just be like too many polys to send over Discord. You might have to email it to me or something. But yeah, let me know if that's possible, because I'm always down to give little examples of sculpting on that. So let's just start with yeah, let's do a document new. Beep. Actually, let's just do a I'm just gonna open up one of the default projects. Beep. Then I'm gonna load tool. I'm gonna navigate to that one that David sent. Merge element from Mike. Boom. Here we go. All right, so got some interesting polygroups in here. I don't know what quite created that. These little square bits is what I'm talking about. Looks like a sealed hole right there. So yeah, let's just address some of this stuff. Let me get my tablet, move into position, let's see if it's actually working. Looks like it is. All right, so with the move brush, you'll notice that my move topological doesn't work on this. Well, it does, but see how it's limited based on the color of the polygroup. So if you have a different polygroup, then you might not be able to quite move all of it at once. You're gonna be looking for the regular move brush. So if you go here, move, you'll notice now, because I need to shrink the back of this to kind of accommodate the skull a little bit more, and say I want to keep this front pretty. Oh, hey, also let me undo this. There we go. And let me make sure symmetry's on. There we go. So I'm just going to mask off the front of this a little bit. Oops. And there we go. So now we can feel free to use that move brush. Navigate there, move. And we're just going to try to conform it to the shape of the skull more. Right there. Perfect. Maybe a bit too much. There we go. But now our issue is like trying to clean up this stuff right here. This like, because we can see that this piece is kind of starting to unfold. My first trick is we need to split this off. So I selected it with Control Shift. I'm just using Control Shift to like hide everything else. And then I'm going to Control Shift drag in the empty space to swap. And then I can just go to split, split hidden. And there we go. So now let's just kind of work on getting this to be a bit smoother. The first thing I'm going to try is alternate smoothing, which is Shift and then clicking on, letting go Shift and dragging. And you can see it's kind of helping us, but it's also getting a little bit. It's losing a little bit of its form, right? So I'm going to go in, and instead of doing that, let's try going to Z remesher. And, oh, there's some interesting polys under here. I might need to just go over this with a clay brush and kind of pull it out. 1 second. Right here. Then I'm using alternate smoothing to sort of help with this. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna definitely, so this looks like a remnant of a sort of Dynamesh operation. We wanna make sure we have clean geo that is nice for ZBrush to work with. So I'm going through and kind of cleaning up this bottom rim. And I'm going to Z-remesh half. I'm going to Z-remesh with half. Then I would do this, and it's going to give us a lot better geometry in here. And I might just go half again. I'm going to turn off adapt as well. And I got to tell you guys, I'm not afraid to Z-remesh half again. The simpler we get these shapes, the easier they're going to be to move around. I'm sure you ZBrushers have noticed that ZBrush is really, it can really just bully you around with its subdivision, right? Because ZBrush is super good at going high poly. And so if we go too high poly, then ZBrush, our smooth brushes really start to fail. And they just become ineffective, you know? So I'm just doing kind of overarching changes to try to get a nice clean rim on this. And kind of accentuating some things to be a bit stronger. I might go from the side because some of this is sinking into the mask. Let's try to pop this out a little bit. There we go. Delicious, beautiful. Something's going on. There's like an extra piece under there. I don't know if this is supposed to be a uniform shape across there, but we'll see. We'll see. And then we can just kind of smooth this out with that alternate smoothing right there. And so look at how clean that shape has already become from this. Next part is going to be moving this up, and we got to really dial in the shape of that helmet with this because it kind of is like a border edge. I don't know how thick David exactly wants this, you know, but I'm just kind of going in from my different perspectives. Big move brush for these changes. This one's beveling up a little bit too high. I'm kind of inclined to think that it's not supposed to be, kind of inclined to think that it's supposed to be maintain that thickness. So I'm going to mask off the top of this. Let's do this mask right here. Then let's Control Alt to undo that mask on the other side that I fraudulently placed. And let's just pull out the bottom of this, you know. Let's just pull along it. Kind of get that to be an evenly spaced rim right there. All right, so now we have a pretty clean overall shape. I'm going to do a little bit, like a slight bit of smoothing. I might turn down my Z intensity so my smoothing isn't too crazy. And remember, I'm alternate smoothing, guys. Pretty much always alternate smoothing. That's why I tell you guys about it, and that's why I rave about it as well. Mostly because I didn't know about it for like 3 years. And I was like, man, why is smoothing so annoying and losing my shape all the time? And then I was like, oh, there's such a thing as alternate smoothing. So I'm trying to have you guys not fall into the same pits that I did. And then I'm going to Z-remesh same right there. Remeshing aborted. What? Z-remesher. Oh, weird. So Z-remesher is kind of failing right now. I'm going to Dynamesh it first and see if that can fix it. Okay, so we got a Dynamesh and Z-remesh. Let's see if this works. So since I Dynameshed, it went up in resolution. So I want to bring that back down. There we go. All right, so if we wanted to get a nice rim on this, I think the easiest way is just going to be our good old H polish brush. That'll be the most direct way of doing it. But let's get a few subdivisions in there, right? So I'm just going to go to my divide button. This is our classic workflow. So you can see every time I press that divide button, it's getting smoother, right? And then I have this little subdivision meter right here. So I can work on this like high poly surface. So if I divide that again, I can work on this surface with all my sculpting tools, you know. But if I want to make overarching changes, I can just go down at subdivision level 1 and boom, there you go. You can make some really big changes that way. And it'll carry on to those upper subdivision levels. But in these upper subdivision levels, turn off transparency because we're just worried about the outer aesthetic of this. We're going to look at H polish. It's just BHP. And we can get a few I'm just dragging this across that round surface that we had poking out. So it's always good to extend a little bit further if you're planning to H polish something. Because notice how it kind of carries that back into the object. So yeah. So that would be my workflow for this this sort of thin object right here. She's H polish right there. And you can get some really cool results, some really dope ones. And you can also H polish on the top here to harden this up. And there you go. That's kind of how I'm. Oops, I messed up and probably went way too low. That's the workflow for some of the stuff. So it's Z-remesh down to half a bunch until you have a nice, easy geometry that's not going to bully you. Then subdivide it. If you ever need to make changes to that low poly, like so, say this part's kind of sagging down a little bit too low, like very slightly, but it's still there. It's happening. You can always go down to subdivision level 1 and then move topological. And we can make changes to fix up that the curve of that surface. And then we can go crank it back up to high subdivision level and boom, there you go. David, do you want me to do any other part of this mask while I'm here? Just so you can see a process on it?
If you could try to make the mouth part a little more hard, that would be helpful because I had a hard time like making it look solid.
Oh, okay. So the jaw down here or the upper part, which part of the mouth?
The upper part, sorry, the one with
upper
the
part.
nose.
Yeah, okay, yeah. For sure. So same process I'm going to go for. So I'm going to shift click it. And so that's its own sub tool. And then I'm going to reverse that by control shift click, dragging in the empty space. Then we're going to sub tool, split hidden. Boom. So now we have this this piece as a separate object. Let me pull up Discord on the other one so I can see your reference, so I can kind of understand where we're going to put those harder edges into it. Oh, okay, yeah. All right. So it has a little bit of a bevel over there. So basically, one of the first steps, right, is going to be Z-remesh half, right? So I have this new thing. We can look at our polylines, see how our regular Dynameshes give us like a bunch of this like triangular stuff. That usually doesn't help us when we're sculpting. It's amazing for combining and getting a really fast scan of the model, but yeah, so I'm just going to Z-remesh half. oh, there's an error with that somehow. So I'm going to Dynamesh it again. Let's do that. And let's Z-remesh again. And Z-remesh half. There we go. So now this follows the form of the character a lot more, or of the object a lot more. And then we can kind of start building up some of these forms, right? So I'm just going over this. This is the clay brush that I like most, clay buildup. I just turn the alpha off. It usually comes in with this square. I don't like that as much, especially for hard surface stuff. But I'm just kind of defining the planes of that mask. I'm also using alternate smoothing to get a really smooth shape to start off with, right? Get a really smooth one. I'm going in here, I'm alternate smoothing over this as well. Remember, alternate smoothing is hold shift, stylus down on the object, let go of shift, and then you start smoothing. You just start dragging across. So that's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty good. This might be dipping down a little bit too much in here, so I'm going to add a little bit of thickness, especially since we're going to H polish over this in a second. Right in there. And let's bevel this out a little bit as well, because it has that sort of notch at the side of the helmet there for that shape. I might build that out a little bit more. I'm also going to, at this point, Z-remesh same to sort of make sure that it confines to this new sort of geometry that we've set in here, or the new shape of it. So let's Z-remesh same. Boom, there you go. And so some of these shapes we need to kind of pucker out a little bit to keep the shape of the mask. And then let's divide this a little bit. So I'm dividing that new geometry. And I'm going to divide again. And let's do it again. There we go. And then BHP for H polish. Let's try to start setting in some nice angles on this. There we go. All right. Sometimes to get your brush underneath that surface, we have a bunch of things blocking it, right? So feel free to turn transparency on. And with ghosting, you can kind of see through those different objects. And then we can kind of really establish those curves in here. And that's just BHP for H polish, right? And you can just go in and define all of your surfaces. It's not working in these convex angles. We can try to bring it down in size and then establish our shape then. Right there, that's working out nice. Yeah, we're gonna need to carve in this a little bit. You can also maybe hold Alt and then kind of bring the surface out to that H polish, and then we'll go back in over it. But let's connect this up here. Let's see what it looks like without transparency on. Yeah, it's developing nicely. You can always go in on this, sort of get a nice curve in there. if you want that sort of double-sided curve in there. Another cool tool is Dam Standard. Right here, Dam Standard. If you want to bring out some of these edges, you can hold, because normally it's just going to crease into there really heavily, but you can also go with a low Z intensity up here, and hold Alt, and it's going to do the opposite of carving in strong, and it's going to push out a nice little ridge for us. And then you can either H polish on top of that, or you can like alternate smooth that back in. Oops, there we go. But this is also another useful tool for sort of adding some different forms on the outside of this if you want. It requires a little bit of finesse though, a little bit of finesse with that one. But now see how I just established that sort of curve with it, and then I can start H polishing on top of that. Autosave. It's the bane of my existence for sure. There we go. It has also saved me multiple times, so I don't get too angry at it. Only when I'm teaching you guys, because I don't like to pause for when you guys go back over the video later. But yeah, so you can get a lot of really cool hard surface detail into here with same process. The Z remesh to get some nice clean sculptable geometry, and then H polish brush. H polish works wonders for this. And I'm just kind of cleaning up the rest of this shape. And let's finish this up. So there you go. That's how you get some nice, cool, clean shapes in there. Not the most difficult workflow, just Z remesh half until you get nice, easy geometry, and then H polish. A little bit of Dam Standard if you want to get experimental. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Any other spots that were giving you some real particular troubles?
No, I think it's just making hard surfaces in general was the hard part, but that looks super clean, so I'll definitely do that. I definitely recommend going with this sort of thing. You could also do the same for this stuff up here with H polish. Like I can see that there's a little bit of that going in there. But yeah, don't be afraid to on these things divide them up a little bit. And then just remember, don't always stay high poly. Like if you're gonna make a big change to some like the silhouette of the ear, always crank that down to subdivision 1 before you start doing something like that. But yeah, feel free to work in high poly a little bit on these different surfaces in here. But yeah, that's it. It'll take a little bit of getting used to the H polish brush. It does like to also bully you around a little bit, but once you learn the ways of it, it'll be your best friend for this. Does it work the same as Trim Dynamic, or does it have a different property?
Trim Dynamic, all right, so they're very similar. Trim Dynamic is a little bit more forceful though. So let's look at Trim Dynamic. Oh my god, we're just gonna do T, and then I'm guessing D. Trim Adaptive, yeah, Dynamic. So Trim Dynamic, if I go over that same spot, it destroys more of the surface. But it kind of works better in like a little bit of grooves. I find that rounded shapes are a lot more easy to H polish instead, because Trim Dynamic feels, in terms of like ZBrush, it feels more like a clay brush, like clay buildup. It feels like the opposite of a clay buildup, but with like a smoothing factor to it. But H polish
basically is really good at detecting the form of the object and sort of sharpening that. So it detects the most like the most different parts of the curve. It sort of flattens that down to a point. You know, so see how I'm able to get like a nice sharp point in there. So that's what H polish is really good at. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was using Trinidad Dynamic to make those curves, but I found out it wasn't working, so I just gave up on it. But now that
Yeah,
H polish exists, that's super helpful.
Give H polish a try for sure.
Yeah.
It has some really nice features. But yeah, I wouldn't give up on Trim Dynamic completely because it's still a good tool. But yeah, you'll see that they feel different as you kind of use both. But yeah, that's nice. Anything else?
No, that should be it. Yeah,
awesome.
That should be it. Thank you.
Good stuff. No problem. No problem. All right. So braids and clothing. Tam, did you were you able to send me that file yet? Let's see if Tam got it over to us. Let's pull up Discord. Beep. Yeah. Oh. You can help, please. We have Grecia's characters, so wait, did Tam send it over in a different chat? No, it doesn't look like it. Tam, are you are you here? Because you were next in the question queue. If not, we'll move along. Not like we're not going to answer it, but we'll loop back later. All right. Doesn't sound like it. Okay. So I believe Grecia was next on the list after Tam. Grecia. Let's see. Oh, I think it's auto saving. 1 second. There we go. Let me take a sip of my tea, see if it's too hot or not. It's probably gonna be scorching. Send a rescue party if I die from this. Yeah, way too hot, way too hot. Oh, dear God, why did I make it so hot? All right, so let's hop into Agressia's stuff. What file did you send me? It was a ZPR? I think it was a ZPR, so I'm just gonna file open. Project has been changed. We'd like to save changes. David, did you want this file back or are you good?
Sorry, I was muted. Can I get it as a reference file?
Yeah. Let me. I'll just do the same thing that we did. I'm just going to merge visible. Boom. And then merged helmet. Let's click on that bad boy right there. And export. Wait, it's not merged at all. 1 second. Document new. Oh, that's super confusing. Never mind. I understand what's going on. There we go. Okay. Yeah. 1 second. Sorry about that. New document. No. Edit. Boom. Oh, David. I don't know if it was a default in here, but you can also press P to turn off and on dynamic perspective. Notice that with it off, your camera is basically like an isometric camera. Like everything's the same size. So I always sculpt in perspective. I might have done that on my side on accident. But yeah, make sure you're sculpting in perspective. It usually helps with forms and stuff. Let's export this tool though. Merged helmet from mic reference. Oh man, I'm stupid. Not export. I'm trying to save as. There we go. From mic ref. CTO save. All right. Ah, damn. It's a bit too big. I'm gonna have to email that to you if that's even possible. I might have to OneDrive it. It might be too big. Let's try just exporting as an OBJ. Let's see if that's as massive. Oh God, it's taking a while to write. It's probably not gonna be nice. Yeah, it's 3 million polys. That's what that subdivision is gonna do. It's gonna up your poly count. So yeah, that's way too big.
There are no worries then. I can just screenshot a video from the lecture you post later, if anything.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that should work.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, so next step, file open. Let's go to Betty. Oh, Tam, are you back at all or no? Tam is still lost in space and time. So on this character, we got pretty good proportions. So we're ready to move on to the next step of sort of getting clothes on. I'm also going to separate out the head and neck so you can start working on that face. So if we're in here, okay, interesting. Got a little folder in here. But what we can do is I'm using Control and Shift, or you can just use your masking tools as well. Either one is going to work. So, in fact, yeah, let's just do the masking because people are more familiar with that at this point. So you can just Control, left-click, drag, and you got a little mask across the character. We could even grow that mask. So if you go into Masking tab right here, let's just grow that. So we're trying to get this to be a little bit larger. I'm going to sharpen mask, then we're going to grow it some more. Sharpen. Grow it some more. Sharpen. Hell yeah. All right, so now we have that pretty much cropped where we want it. I'm going to go into Subtool, and I'm going to go to Split, Masked Points, because we just masked all those off. So boom. And oh no, her head is gone. It's just because it's on this different layer that's kind of, or it's on a different subtool that's currently hidden. So if we click this eye, boom, got our head. Now for the head, the reason we're doing this is because with this head separate, now we can start carving in. Start carving in, making that the shape of the face. We can start pushing in on the head, and that's why I want you to start pushing forward on this, because faces are hard to do, right? They take a long time, and I also with the faces, what you're going to want to do is you're going to stay pretty low poly for a while. You want to stay pretty low. Simply because if you jump in too quick to God, faces are a nightmare. 100% they are. But Diana, you did a great job on yours. Great job. It's really hard to pull off something like that, but I love the challenge of it. I fucking love the challenge of it. That's what like is so invigorating about it. But yeah, just be sure to keep looking at your reference. I'm not looking at your reference right now, so it's like not accurate at all. But yeah, and now with this as a separate piece, you can feel free to either divide it or Z remesh. And oh, sorry, I clicked Z remesh a little bit too early. And there we go. Z remesh went insane there. So what I'm trying to do is Z remesh double. There we go. And so you just get a little bit more definition in there. And you can just start going back in, defining this. I really recommend looking at the planes of the face, just to get an understanding of what's going on there. But yeah, and you can keep carving in on this stuff. I would be going more into this, but I've already showed faces in a previous lecture. And I want to talk more about the clothing because that's what people normally have the questions about. But yeah, you can just start defining this, and it's its own object, right? So, or it's its own subtool now, so you don't have to worry about when you use Z remesh and stuff of it kind of getting a little bit more complicated in there. Because if you Z remesh it all as one piece, then like you might be losing some detail out that you did on like the rest of the body. But yeah, so get all that stuff in there, start really sculpting away at that face because it's going to take a while to hit the same appeal as your character design. It's going to be really hard to keep that up. And then once you got that going, you can kind of start extracting out clothes. Let's look at the clothes of the character. All right there. Let me put this on my other monitor so I can see it. All right, so first thing is the skirt. Let's do that. She's got a big dress, so I'm going to just control left click drag and mask. And we're just going to extract this. Boom. Extract. I'm down with this. It's a little bit thick. That's fine. Let's drag that down and type in 0.0. Let's do 0.005. And then extract. And then accept. And then what we can do is drag this out to be pretty big. I'm going to turn back visibility on the base mesh so we can make sure we're not going through. Also, I'm going to mask this off so I don't pull that nice seam that we have right there. I'm just going to control left click on the surface to kind of smooth that mask out. Go. And you might run into some problems with like the inside of this breaching the outside, not like the legs of breaching through, but like the actual inside of the skirt there. So sometimes you're just going to be forced to delete it and then mess with the rest of it after. So I'm going to get this down to the knees, which is where it lines up in the reference. And let's try scaling it up a little bit. Here we go. And we have a skirt in position. I'm going to Z remesh, but I'm going to keep groups. Oh my God, I just clicked it again by accident. Sorry about that. Don't do that. I'm going to do keep groups, smooth groups, And let's do same, because this is a pretty low poly count right here. So let's ZV mesh. And you can see that we got a nice smooth border from that now. And yeah, so there you go. If you want to do that again with keep groups on, it's going to smooth it even more. So now you have nice clean shapes for both of those. And then it just goes into sculpting more. So if you go to your clay buildup, you can kind of add a little bit of the booty back on here. It's during this process that you might find out that you have some because when you carve in on this, it might go through this inside of the skirt. So I'll show you how to fix that at the end of this. If you once you do some cool wrinkles and stuff. For wrinkles on dresses, I would recommend a few tools, but I'm going to go back more into them when Tam shows up again. But you can also just divide this surface up a little bit, smooth it out. I also keep symmetry off whenever I'm doing like dress detailing, and I like to use damage standard in here so we can get some nice sort of cloth effect in there. You can sharpen it by pressing Alt and doing that. You can also use your whatever your clay brush is. I like the clay buildup for this, and then turning the alpha off. And then so notice how it's round as heck right now. But look at my cursor, how there's two circles on it, right? And this is kind of one of the other basic features in Zbrush is that you have a focal shift. Sometimes, see how as I drag this, let's see if I can do it with the spacebar. See how as I drag this, that inner circle shrinks. So it's going to make this look like more of a point when I do it. So feel free to use focal shift on some of these brushes to get a little bit of sharper edges if you want to do that. Absolutely fine by me. That's pretty much that's one of the very few times that I will touch focal shift though. That's when I want to take a brush and kind of make it a bit sharper like that. But yeah, so then you sculpt that up. If you run into the problem where the inside goes into the outside, something that you can do is Control Shift click, so then only your outer shell is visible. Then you can go into well, first let's delete all of our subdivision. So I'm going to delete lower, boom, and then I'm going to do that same thing, Control Shift, so it hides everything else besides that outer shell of the skirt. And then let's do where is it? It's in geometry, modify topology, delete hidden right here. And then so we only have the outside of the skirt now. Like if we press Control Shift and click to unhide everything, you'll notice nothing unhides down there because we've already deleted it off the mesh. What we can do is I like to go into Z Modeler. If you hold space, you can do extrude all polygons, and you can pull. Oh, I missed something. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to extrude all polygons inward. Boom, just a little bit. And then display properties, flip. Boom. And there you go. You got that thickness back in there. If you want, you can either crease this edge so it will stay really hard with subdivisions, or you can just insert edge loops as well. If I turn on my polyline, you'll be able to see that to really retain that edge. So now if I go into geometry divide again, boom, It's a solid line on the outside there. I'd have to do one over here as well on the inside to sort of get that same effect. So yeah, you get some real sharp shapes that way. The way I would do the shawl, very similar. Very similar. I would just mask off sort of this sort of shape on the bust. We did delete the rest of like the front of that, or of the top part, so this is all we got. I'm going to go to subtool, extract. I'm going to do bigger thickness on this, so let's do a 0.2. Extract. That's a 0.2. Okay, yeah. Let's not do that. Also, notice how I had some underneath there. This is still masked off. I need to undo that. My bad, guys. I do that constantly. So I'm looking at for 0.02, turns out. Let's extract that. Boom. Still a little bit too big. Let's do 0.01. It's 0.91. My God, that's going to be a monster of an extraction. 0.01. Let's turn back on, let's turn off transparency and extract. Yeah, it's looking good, except actually it's not looking good. I don't like that they're combined in the middle. So I'm going to delete this extracted mesh. Delete it, boom, okay. Let's click back on here. I'm gonna unmask this, Control-Alt to unmask, and I'm just drawing on that surface and extract. See it? There we go. That's what I'm looking for, accept. Very cool, very cool. And immediately, I'd like to do a geometry, Z-remesher. I can leave it on same this time, but I want to keep groups and smooth groups because you see all this wrinkly stuff. We can get rid of a lot of that with a Z-remesh. So let's do keep groups and smooth, and look at that. Boom. The immediate clean shape in there. Immediate clean shape. And then we can go in with our move tool. I'm going to turn on symmetry with X, make sure that's on. I'm going to drag this into position, because this goes over the arms a little bit, and these go inward. And I'm just getting this cinched up close to where it looks like it is in the reference. You can always Z-remesh same and keep groups if you want to get that crisp outside border again. And then I would also see for this part, this front one overlaps the other one. So this is an asymmetrical shape. So I have to turn off symmetry here. Move this in. Make sure it doesn't overlap the neck a lot. And I'm just kind of bullying that shape into where I want it to go to make that shawl. Then I think we're ready to see, once these start getting super stretched out here, right there, you can see if I turn on polyline, let's get super stretched out. What we can do is Z-remesh that. Boom. My smooth groups features kind of screwed me over here a little bit. This little slider right here, because it rounded out those corners again. I can either pull them back or dial that, like undo the Z-remesh, dial that smooth groups feature back, and then Z-remesh again. It's up to me. I'm just going to make do with what we got here. And then I'm going to turn down that smooth groups. Let's Z-remesh again. And smooth groups are still giving me issues, so I'm going to keep cranking that down very, very small. Okay, that's not too bad. And then we can just fold this other piece down underneath it. So I'm just using move topological. Make sure you're using move topological, not move, otherwise you're gonna get this front flap as well. Move topological scans through the mesh and it detects what points are really far away from the other ones. So it knows not to move this other one because it's super far away on the mesh. Very useful. Very useful. And there you go. So that's the shawl right there. If I wanted to add the fluff, it looks like the fluff goes pretty much all the way around, but it kind of stops off at the top. So I would use my masking on here. That mask is dripping into the bottom right there. So let's see if we can fix that with some culling. Ooh, oh man, I know a really cool way to do this. Let's not do that though. It's a little bit too parkour. So I'm just gonna control. I'm just dragging around the bottom of this. Just masking off all that. Down here. And I'm going to use a smaller brush. I'm going to control mask so I can remove some of this under mask right there. And I'm going to use an even smaller one. I'm just going to remask over this edge, make sure we get a strong one. Up in there. There we go. Whoops. Accidentally clicked on the thing and smoothed it out. Now with this, now with all this here, we can subtool, extract. And that's pretty thick, but I think it's going to work in this case. So let's do that. Accept. And since this is a pillowy shape for the character, I'm just going to do Z remesh. I'm not going to keep groups. I'm just going to do Z remesh and let's do same because we're pretty low poly here. And I'm going to go hold shift and go over this. Go over all this bad boy. Right here. Autosave. How could you? We're getting like a little bit of a double, and that's because our mask was on the outside. So let's try to see if we can fix that. I might just ditch this scarf that we. There we go. Yeah, I'm ditching that. Clicking on this other one. So see, when we extracted it out, it got the underside of that lip, right? So it extracted out from this surface, but then also deep into. So we want that to be on one side more. And since we kept our groups on this, because we're very nice, we can just press Control Shift right there. And then we can go back in and just mask this stuff only. And I don't know how deep in there we want to go with that, but I'm down to just do this right here. Let's get these two polys. And complete the loop. There we go. All right, now we go to mesh, extract. And I'm going to accept this. I'm also going to geometry, Z remesh. That's way too many polys. Let's do half. There we go. And we can really start carving away at this chunky shape by doing our smooth brushes. And there we go. See, I'm getting that pillowy sort of shape. If you want to add form to these, you could use your inflate brush. That'd be a nice candidate for this. You could also use just your regular clay buildup brush. Either one's going to do the trick for you. Either one's going to do the trick. I'm also using not regular smooth for the smoothing. I'm using alternate smooth, which is again smoothing and like holding shift and then stylus down, letting go of shift and dragging. That's how you alternate smooth. And yeah, that's pretty much the name of the game. I'm just inflating this back up to be the proper size, and there you go. Topological, and you should be good. All right. Anything else that you wanted to see on this one, Grecia? Anything else? The sleeves, please. Very similar approach to this. The sleeves, I believe, are part of the yeah, so I would leave since you have a crease at the skirt and the shirt, I would start the sleeves from just at the same. I tried to make them with the cylinders. Oh frick, yeah, Grecia, don't do that. Don't do that. What we can do is cheat and have a lot better of a time. So I'm just going up my mask, so I'm just control left click dragging. And then doing this again, control left click drag, boom. So we got a lot of this all masked off. I'm going to hold control and alt to undo, because I have some masking down there. You can see I'm undoing that, boom, right there, looking good. Then I'm just going along the outside right here. And we're going to use our good friend extract again, boom, subtool extract. And that's looking pretty good to me. Let's turn off transparency. Oops. Let's turn off a transparency and let's extract and then accept. And then we can do geometry. I like to do the keep groups whenever we want to have like a hard edge like this on a sleeve cuff, and then we can do Z remesh. My bad, that was with a target poly count. Let's just do same. Z remesh, boom. So now you'll see when you pull on this, you have a little bit of little sleeve in there. Boom. Nice little sleeve. Don't make them sag too far away, because it's kind of like if you were to try to rig this at all, you'd need dynamics, or you'd need a rig in there to make that cloth look convincing. But if you're not worried about rigging, then fuck it, you can make these as saggy as you want. And then to make the sort of puff on the outside of the sleeve, I would control shift, because look, if we mask off this and try to extract, boom, extract, it looks fine, but then on the inside it's also going to it's extruding basically inward as well. So what we want to do is control shift this outer side, boom, so it just hides everything else. And then we mask off. Oops. the outside of this sleeve. There we go. Then we can extract that. Boom, that's looking good. Accept. And then immediately I'm down to just do alternate smoothing on this. You have a nice little donut shape right there. Little donut shape. And if you want to see what it looks like all smoothed up, then you can go into geometry. Divide, boom, bang. Got a nice smooth one right there. Go back onto that shirt. Now undo that mask. You can move topological, kind of pull this back. Oops. I'm going to Z-remesh without keep groups on. I'm also going to delete higher. Let's just do same. Boom, there we go. Divide that up and see what it looks like. Very nice. Click on mesh, divide this up. But yeah, there you go. So you got some clothes on there. So yeah, basically all the clothes are just extractions on this one. That's pretty much it. No problem. No problem. But yeah, so by next class, I'd like to see the clothes and the face in there. I'd like to see both of those because yeah, they take a lot of time to do. Take a lot of time. The face especially. Oh my god. Yeah. To really hit the mark that you want to on a face, like it's gonna take a while. Nice. All right. Tam, are you back yet? Or no? Tam, are you down for the count? Lost to the sands of time? To the sands of Tam? David shook his head at that. Doesn't appreciate a garbage pun. Yeah. Well, I'll be chilling until Tam comes back. I'm sure that they're probably, I don't know, they might have something going on or something. But yeah. Meanwhile, if anyone else has any questions, please. Like if you're like, how do I model this part? How do I animate this? Like hit me up. This is I'm just a walking, talking, or I'm a sitting, talking tutorial at this point. So yeah, I'm just here for you guys' information and to further what you guys want to learn, you know. Yeah. What is up? Could hear y'all. Yeah. Sorry, Tam. We were distraught. You know, we were like, "What happened, Tam? What happened?" But yeah. So Tam, you had questions about a braid, and you also had a question about clothing, I believe. So if you could send me over your character, that would be amazing. But I'm sure your ZPR file is
Oh, you sent it in an email. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let me pull that. Too big for Discord. Dude, I wish we could like have a I wish we could have the school pay for a Discord Nitro server so we could just share files super easy. That'd be so dope. We could have the coolest icons and animating emojis in there too. Man, the gains. The gains, think about it. Animated GIFs, yup. Let's go to Gmail. There. Let's see. Did you send it to my school email, Tim, or my personal email? So I'm not seeing it in my personal email. Let me look at all mail. No. Oh, the CSU one. Oh, okay. There we go. I can forward. Oh no, don't worry about it. I'm already in there. I just had to go through the little authenticator thing. So let's download this. Download. All right, let's see. New save 5 final z.zpr. Tam, I see that you're using the classic artist naming convention of having like final 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see, open a very panicked saving system. Hey, it's effective though. It's effective. I'm gonna not save the changes there, but let's see this. I have a file called head with a 3 here. I'm too scared to open it. Yeah, that file's clearly cursed. You might need to buy a new hard drive, move that file, only that hard drive, and then burn that hard drive in order to properly get rid of that cursed file. All right, let's see. So let's just look at the reference one. Let's just look at reference in general. Because being a bald man, I have to say I don't have much experience with braids. Let's see what they look like. Let's see what they look like. I'm kind of thinking that like thick braid, like because these are like super intricate. I'm kind of thinking of the one more in your ref. Oh yeah, like something like this. This thick one. So what is that? It's basically a bunch of repeating shapes. Just boom, 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 boom. Okay, so it kind of overlaps. That wraps in there. Okay. 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 All right. So let's hop in here. I'm going to put that braid reference on my other monitor. I'm also going to move Discord to that other monitor. Because you should always be working with reference, especially when you don't know what something looks like. My God. Please look at reference, my friends. I just reduced chat down. Let's go here. Right there. Nice. Cool, cool. Dude, Diane, every time I go back to Discord, I'm always hyped on your model, dude. It's come along so well. Frick. So sick. Let's see. Let's go. Oh, thanks. Yeah, no problem. No problem. So this is interesting. Okay. Okay. So I am seeing. Okay, cool. And this comes out of a big hair swoopy. A big swoopy hair. Yeah, which is up here. Very nice. Very nice. It looks like, is this one piece? Okay, yeah. So I'm going to split off this hair. Because hair is always going to be annoying to deal with. Tam, I'm also going to show you a super sick way to do hair. It's a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird, but we can make it happen. But yeah, so subtool, and I'm going to split hidden. Yeah, there we go. That way we just have our hair on a different layer than on a different subtool than our face. But yeah, let's try to make some braids. I can think of some ways to do it. Let's see. Right now, append. This is going to be like a kind of more brute force method, but I think if we append a cylinder, and then also, how do you do that? The splitting off. Oh yeah. Fuck. I'll just open up the project again. Open. Save. Just so you get the refresher. I did it a bunch already earlier. I did it on David's character, because when you're working with hard surface plates, you usually split them off and then kind of work on them separately. But yeah, let's get this opened up again. So currently you have the body and pretty much everything is one subtool. So this is, we should split off the eyes as well. I'll do that for you, don't worry. As long as I can send this back to you. I don't even know if I can send this back to you, it might be too big. So I'll show you both ways. Damn, yeah, you got a super clean ridge right here too. Very nice, very nice. So yeah, basically it works based on the poly, what am I? Polygroups. Sorry, yeah, my brain just exploded for a second there. It works based on the polygroups of the model. So if you turn on this little line fill, you can see that each different object has a different color in there. If you know that there's separate shells, like I can see that this ear is like split from the rest, but like if it was part of that same polygroup, you can always go down to polygroups and then auto groups, and then you'll see that it splits them all off into different groups right there, but what we can do with groups is hide them. So if you press Control Shift and then click on something, boom, it solos that. It solos out that thing that you clicked right there. In this case, the hair. So everything is still exists, right? It didn't just delete everything. It just hid everything in that subtool, everything else. So what you can do with this is Control Shift again, because that's your hiding button. And you can Control Shift drag, and it's going to invert what you have hidden. So now everything's visible except for that piece of hair. That piece of hair is the only thing that you can't see. So now if you go Control Shift and then click on other pieces of hair,
you can see that they're now being hidden, right? Those are now being hidden. Whoops. I suppose I don't really need to get the eyebrows. Those are part of the face as well. But sometimes it's hard to sculpt on the face when you have those eyebrows on top. So I usually split mine off into a different group. But so now that I have those hidden, what I can do is do split hidden in this menu right here. Right here, split hidden, boom. And there you go. It just made a new subtool with all of those hidden pieces in it. All those hidden pieces in it. I really recommend having the eyes on one. So I grab one eye, grab the other eye, split hidden, boom. There you go. But now let's get back to that braid. So I'm going to show you a brute force method. Might not be super effective in how it turns out, but this is the way my mind immediately went. So I just went to append, and I did a spherender, which is, I guess, a spherical cylinder. Doesn't really matter. A cylinder would also do the trick. And I'm going to just scale this and move it into the proper size. So I'm just going to bring this down. And I believe this sits off to one side over here. So let's drag it over. And then I'm just going to scale to get that skinniness factor. And then I can always scale up on this. And let's see, it starts in the back, kind of. Starts in the back. And it kind of goes around, I believe. At least based on the reference, I think. It's kind of hard to see because the reference is like super small in this one. But I think it's doing this. I'm just going to straight up do it like this. I'm just going to do it literally straight up, and then I'm going to rotate it into position, move it into position. So we have this shape, and then now if we look at the polys, it's kind of intense right there. I'm going to go to geometry. I'm going to go to Z remesh half right here. Boom. Let's see what goes on there. Nice. A lot more workable. And I'm going to start sculpting into this. Let's turn off that stupid polyline so we don't have to look at that. And I'm going to let's use some Dam Standard. Remember, Dam Standard carves really well into surfaces. So let's crank this intensity up a little bit. Let's go up to like 22. You can see that's making that kind of strike in there in the surface. And let me go back to my braids in the real world ref. And there we go. Oh, interesting. Okay, so they have kind of a like this pattern. And oh my God, this one has like multicolored braids. Calm it down. I can't see what's happening. What the fuck? There's some crazy braids out there. Let me tell you guys. Holy shit. All right. There we go. And then what happens here is this, and then this, and then this. I know, very detailed tutorial on my part, just saying this over and over, but you know. So I'm just kind of making that the shape in here of each of these braids. Okay, so this is where this zigzag sort of comes into play. So it has that zigzag feature. So that, and again, this is just one way to do it. We're probably going to get better ways as we experiment. But honestly, this isn't going too bad. This isn't going too bad at all. There we go. And I have no idea what the underside of braids looks like, but you know. That would just be a matter of getting some more reference in there. But yeah, so we have this, and then now let's try to do Z remesh at double. Let's try that. Actually, let me just finish out the rest of them because we're like almost there, you know. Yeah, there, and then yeah. There we go. I'm sure the back of braids is something similar, right? Like this would have to be this somehow. Oh man, it's a brain bender. Right there. And then let's try to double the Z remesh in there. You can see Z remesh try to give us some nice little topology on some of these shapes, and it you know, worked pretty good. Worked pretty good. And I'm just going again. I've just been using damn standard for this whole thing, you know. But honestly, it looks pretty decent. Looks pretty decent. You know. And then you could always smooth some of these. Smooth some of these shapes. I feel like this looks like a bread roll more than hair. So maybe try to up the sort of naturalistic variety of like size of braid in each one. Try to give it a more curve. When it gets really uniform, turns into bread, it looks like. I'm also going to kind of smooth these ones that are inserting lower. But yes, that's one potential way to do it. Another way is a tasty baguette. On my OG file, everything is, oh, I merged it. Yeah, that's right, that's right. Nice, nice. The pinch tool became my best friend. Yeah, for the face, I'm guessing. Yeah, yeah. It's really good for that. I like doing damn standard and H polish as well. We just feel free to watch back the video for some hard surface stuff for H polish, because David benefited a lot from that. But braids really do look like bread. Yeah, for sure, right? You kind of do. I feel like it would look a lot less like bread if I got the back in there too, but you know. So let's try a different way of making these. My guess is that it's going to be, or like my tactic is going to be creating one braid and then mirroring it, like creating one piece of hair and then mirroring it and then duplicating it and stuff. So let's move this over. Let's scale this down. So go in and start to, I'm just looking at my reference here. I'm going to my move topological tool. I'm just going to stretching this out. And I'm going to Z remesh this immediately because it's a bit high poly. I'm going to do half Z remesh, boom. I'm do another half because I like the simplicity. There we go. Awesome. So I'm just making one braid shape, right? Right in here. Yeah, this might take some engineering on my side to try to figure out exactly how these braids fit in with each other. But it looks like they do that sort of shape. Let's move this over. Nice, nice. All right. Here we go. All right, so now I'm going to go to the subtool. I'm going to duplicate. Then I'm going to geometry. Actually, no, my bad, deformation. I'm just going to mirror. Boom. And it appeared on the other side. Let's move that back over here. That's nice. And then you can see kind of what I'm going for with this. And I can immediately also see that I need to sort of twist it, push this back in. In there. Oh my God, this is just a brain puzzle. There we go. Oh yeah, yeah, there we go. Ah, yes, yes, yes. All right. So now this, and I believe I can just move this, and I think it's, can I do this? Yeah, Control Shift, and then the move button. We'll move the, we'll just duplicate the shape, and you can kind of do this. Boom. All the way down. And then I'm going to do the same here. But my pivot is super far away, so I'm just going to hold Alt and then go to Unmasked Mesh Center right there to realign it. Let's try to get this going right here. It doesn't look quite right because I'm missing the part where this folds over that other piece. You can see the idea here, you know. Helps that braids are made of three. If it helps braids are made of, yeah. My issue, I knew about that, and like I know how to make a braid in real life, but my thought process on avoiding the three strands was like, I think it would be a big annoyance to sort of, because you have to like fold them inside of each other and like alternate, right? I think that would be really annoying to sort of get going in ZBrush like that. So that was my process. That was my thought process there, you know. Let's see if that goes. All right, so these bottom ones go up on top of these closer ones. Nice. There we go. Bottom one goes, or top one goes below bottom. And right now I kind of I want to try to delete some of these lower ones because I don't need them because it'll take me a while. So I'm just going to go to groups. I could like mask them off, but that mask is going to lead on to the gun to the other ones. What I want to do is just do auto groups, boom, and then I'm just doing the Control Shift hide stuff again. I'm just going to Control Shift left click to get it off, and then let's hide everything else except this one and this one. So now, if I Control Shift drag to reverse it again, those are all gone. I can just go to Geometry, Modify Topology, Delete Hidden. And then let's try turning this off. Let's try moving these now. With Control Shift and move. There we go. It's up in solid. Let me just use my move brush to sort of clear the gap here. There we go. And then we switch over to this auto saving. Tragic. Here we go. So now we work on this other one. Let's see what this looks like. Let's turn off transparency and let's move this down. Oops. Let's go to unmasked mesh center there. And then Control Shift. And I'm dragging down. And I'm gonna reset this. There you go. And it's a little bit thick, but you know, it would just take some refinement. Kind of squeezing these bad boys in. And sort of doing this stuff. Get that shape in there. And you have a pretty clean braid shape then. Of course, you need to sort of figure out what to do with the extra stuff on the back, you know. I'd probably just hide it a little bit in here. Yeah. No one's gonna know. Yeah. So there you go. Two different braid setups there, but they both work. I feel like the second braid setup is a little bit more effective. And so you wanted to do some stuff about the clothes as well, right? I think you said that. Yeah, I think the second one is the closer look of doing. Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, so you wanted to do some clothes stuff. Immediately, right off the bat, I feel like so let me go into the move tool. Move here. I think let's turn on symmetry. Here. There we go. I feel like her little shirt thing is a little bit higher in this. Creases and stuff. Yeah. Okay, so it looks sort of like what material would you say this thing's made out of? Is it like a raincoat? Like heavy, yeah. Like I'm thinking like almost like trench coat. Blazer material, okay. Blazer material, okay, so let's find some reference. I have no idea what different fabric materials are called, alas. Yeah, me neither. This one looks kind of like, oh my God, no. All right, you guys are just getting ads for clothes now, in case you're wondering. Let's turn this to a different color so we can really see the folds. This one's like kind of what we're looking for almost, but it looks a little bit too soft almost compared to what your reference looks like. I'm seeing like I'm seeing that it comes to a bit to points. Let's see if we can really find some cloth though. Some nice cloth. Let's do like a tan blazer. So we get to see more folds in here. Yeah, okay. So this is more what I'm thinking. This sort of stuff. And one thing to keep in mind is that each of your each of your pieces of like fabric, right, hang off of something, right? So you can see that you get a crease along the chest right here, where like the structure of it is being pulled to where it's fastened right here and against the chest. Also, a super like key thing to think about is this little diamond shape right here. See how it's like alternating diamonds? That's how fabric kind of folds up, like on clothes. Like it'll really commonly come to those diamond shapes because it has to fold in on itself, and that's the best way. So we basically need to sort of build off the form, right? Because if we think about how form-fitting the clothes are currently, compared to where that skin is, it needs to hang off somewhere. So I'm probably going to hide that. And because I would do this trim last once you get the rest of it figured out. And then I'm going to flip this mask, boom, and I'm going to delete hidden. Boom. There we go. So now we have this. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to Z-remesh just to make sure that we have good, good topology to sculpt on. There we go. You can see it popped through a little bit, but you know, whatever. All right. So I'm going to try to get some of this effect in there. Let's see if we can find any other good ones to take inspiration from. This one's kind of interesting. Has like a lot of creasing in there. This guy looks a little bit like a douchebag, but that's fine. I think he has good creases. Let's see. This is more soft. You can really see how like the knit of it gives like different creasing. Like look at how like thick those curves are right there. And then look how like plentiful these ones are, you know, like these are clearly two different fabrics. So a lot of your different fabrics are going to crease differently. It would really help if we had someone in the same pose that a character is, but you know, you can't always get that. These are a lot of small pictures too. I'm a big picture. Isn't there like a way to size? Large, yeah. Very nice. There we go. So I'm just looking for some nice folds in here. Also, I'm going to check Discord because I keep hearing Discord messages. Hoping. Would this help for ref? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. What is that called? Is that a shawl? How do you spell shawl? Is that two? Shawl. No, it's just shall. What is that? What is that clothing called? Wait, Mike. I sense it. Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, those are a bit like that like knit sort of, I don't know, cloak or whatever. It's like it's pretty foldy, but yeah, I'll just go with this, whatever. I don't want to spend too much time looking for ref. So I like to use clay buildup sometimes. And then I wonder if it's going to present problems. Got kicked out for a second. Did I miss anything? No. I was just looking around for ref and stuff. But I like to use clay buildup, and I like to use the focal shift on it. So keep in mind that I don't use the regular default alpha of this that comes with it. Instead, I like to use no alpha. And then I like to use focal shift to sort of start building some of these shapes in there. So see how focal shift can, it changes that interior circle. So you can get kind of a sharper point on the brush by doing this. Oh man, I'm just gonna have to separate this out completely from the underneath geometry. 1 second. There we go. Some tool, split hidden. There we go. All right, so now we're working only with the shawl.
And basically any form that you have up here is going to support cloth, and cloth kind of hangs out, but also spreads a little bit. That's why like skirts kind of keep going down, and they sort of have that outward silhouettes because they keep just kind of traveling. So if you fold in the cloth a lot like this, then it kind of loses that structure that that we know as cloth. So don't be afraid to sort of push on this. Let's see, can I? Oh, I cannot. If I was doing this on my end, I would have this not be like, I would have this not be two-sided. See how we have that interior poking through right there? That's going to cause some big problems in the future. So I bet on your side that you have actual polygroups, so you might be able to hide the inside. Let me see if I can do this. Group by normals. Let's try that. Did that work? No. Shit. Let's try group by normals, max angle. Let's lower that down to like 10. Oof. Oh, there we go. Nice. Okay. So see how I split that outside, that inside one onto the outside. Let's crank that up. Actually, let's do like 26. Do like 15. Let's try that. Yeah. Okay, I think that's the best we're gonna get while still having everything. So yeah, that problem is pretty common when you're dealing with cloth. So that's why I like to delete the inside of cloth when I'm working on it. And I'm just gonna go, now that this is a separate poly group, I'm just going to Control Shift click that, and then I have that underlying group. I'm just going to go to Geometry, Modify Topology, Delete Hidden. Boom. There you go. You're going to have some problems over here with your edges right here. Let's see if we can. Yeah, that's not going to smooth very well. I'm just going to go and Z-remesh that and see if we can that's going to work for us. I'm going to do Z-remesh half. It did a little bit, but there's still a lot of messed up shit right here. I'm going to try to use a trim brush. So I'm going to go to Control Shift. Let's do trim lasso. I'm going to trim off all this. Hopefully that helps. Oh no. It's also sealing that up in there. But what we can do is do our classic hide everything else strategy. Control Shift, boom, hide all that. Geometry, modify topology, delete hidden. Boom. There we go. Let's see if this Z remeshes nicely and gives us a clean edge then. Z remesh. I'm gonna do same because I don't want to lose too much detail. There we go. Okay, yeah. So that's working nicely now. All right. So now we can start to sculpt more of these details. And a key part of each of these creases is that when you get up to the top, again, I'm just using clay buildup with a bit of focal shift on it, is that you can get kind of sharper up at the top right here. And then use Alt to sort of carve in right here. Use Alt to carve in on that fabric right there. Remember, this stuff hangs off at certain angles. If it's like a stronger cloth, you might see that it more stiffly hangs off the form. But we can do this. And then you can also use Dam Standard. Remember, Dam Standard is really good at carving, creases in there. So you'll see that I'll be able to build some diamonds really nicely on that. But diamonds are mostly for not free hanging stuff. But you can also use Alt on it and get like a really crisp hanging edge right here. And we can just smooth that down. Let's go up in intensity there. Yeah. So you can get a lot of that. Fabric would hang off of the chest as well. So I'm just going in with Dam Standard. And I'm using the alternate version of Dam Standard. So I'm pressing Alt. I'm also going in with clay buildup for like the bigger forms. And remember, up here, like at each of these little sort of hanging points, cloth does tend to like to bunch up a little bit as that crease is formed. It gains a little bit of structure. So that's the kind of patterns that form with cloth. You can also get some like kind of pear drooping in here. So like if this point kind of is holding most of that form in position, then as that cloth falls off there, it'll come to these sort of folds in here, because they'll naturally kind of like want to connect. But then also you can get features that, and sometimes I turn off symmetry when I'm doing folds because I don't want it to look exactly the same on both sides. You can see that like this crease can extend over here a little bit. And then you can see how that diamond pattern could almost start forming on like a larger scale in there. Notice how if you look at this point right here, point right there, it's basically that same diamond sort of setup. And if you're thinking about what I'm calling diamonds, let's see. How does this word? Clothing. Is it, oh, shawl, S-H-A-W. Oh. Let's see if we got a bunch of different ones in here. Huh. I'm sure we can find some diamonds in here though. These are like almost too patterned to even see the actual clothing. But you can see how they're combining here, and you're seeing how at each of those little support points, like the fabric kind of bevels out. Let's try to find that diamond though. Oh man, Just like the wrong fabric for that. It doesn't diamond very well. So we go to khakis. Khakis definitely form diamonds a lot on the back of the legs. You can see a faint set of them in there. You can see diamond shape in there, another diamond right there. So try to get that like sort of alternating support at like different curvy parts of the cloth. This, I'm assuming it's a little bit more rigid, so I would have this kind of forming a straight line from where it's sort of falling off that elbow right there. But yeah, so that's pretty much how I go about cloth. Definitely takes a lot of reference to look at. So please, either like on your phone, if you don't have like two monitors, or yeah, like or on like a tablet or something, like pull up some cloth and sort of just look at how it folds and study how it supports itself on the shape of the person wearing it. But you can see how you can get some nice drooping cloth there. Wait, can you show how you split them into two different polygroups again? Yeah, that one was a specific case that I don't. So basically, it was in the polygroup menu over here, and it was grouped by normals. So like if you had a cube, right? Or if you had a sphere and you did group by normals, nothing's going to happen because it has a very even curvature all the way across. Our problem was that I had to group the inside of this shawl as a different polygroup, so I could then hide it and then delete it. So what we ended up doing was grouping by normals, because it came to a really sharp point at the end of that shawl. And then if I cranked down on that max angle, then it was like, oh, okay, there's like a sharp point there. On this side of the point, that's going to be one polygroup. On this side of the point, that's going to be another polygroup. So then it worked really nicely. I rec this app called Pure Ref. It's super minimalistic and it helps keeps refs on top of your workstation. Oh, really? Pure Ref. That'd be pretty sick, huh? So does it have like priority, Cam? Does it like stay up regardless of like what you're doing? That sounds sick, because even if you have it on a separate monitor, your eye still has to like look over and then you have to like look back. So then you kind of lose some detail. That's pretty sick. Let's see. Huh. You can set it to basically do whatever you want. It's really cool. All right. This class is sponsored by Pure Ref. You heard it here, folks. But yeah, Tam, does that make sense pretty much for the cloth? Is that you have basically support points for shoulders and like knees and stuff, and then on those the fabric kind of likes to drape on both sides, and it will kind of support itself. And then sometimes it'll come to junctions, and sometimes it'll come to diamonds as well. Diamonds are super common on like the back of knees and on the inside of elbows. Not with this one so much, 'cause it's like super floppy. It's a super floppy material, you know. But like, yeah, definitely like structured pants will do that. There's a really good video for this as well. From Raf Grissetti, cloth. How to sculpt cloth in 3D.
What's happening, everybody?
And he
So,
talks a lot about a lot of this
folds
stuff as well.
about tension points and why things are being
He
deformed.
calls them tension
We're gonna
points, but
You can
But
kind
yeah.
of create studying this.
he's
You
kind of
notice
doing the same thing. Yeah, you can
and,
see even
and
see
then
the
as you
diamond
start to go
shape that it
down,
kind of
it'll
makes
start
in
to
there.
relax. You know, here will probably start turning into, but the secret, and we look at the zigzag.
But yeah, really useful video there. I'm going to put it in the chat. I'm also going to copy it into Discord. More free resources. Hanks. Tam just saw Tom Hanks apparently, and couldn't help but exclaim his last name. No problem though. I think that was it for you, Tam. Did you have any other questions? Yeah, I'm good now. All right, sweet. Very dope, very dope. Oh shit, it's 9:31. Sculpting and dope student films really make the time fly by now. Any other last questions before we depart? Also, I just look through the Discord to sort of grade things, you know. But if you have an update that you want to send over to me, either send that through Discord or share with me on email, Dropbox. Let me know that you like hit me up on Discord to say like that you updated it or something, because I'll probably grade these over the next week, you know. But yeah, I gave a lot of notes, like animation notes to some people. So if you're one of those people, then feel free to polish that up over the next week. And yeah, and just get it ready to turn in. You know, I want you guys moving on to the next project as fast as you can, because the next project is gonna be pretty tight in budget. And so yeah, next class I'm gonna be kind of seeing what progress that you made on your next project. Yeah, we're just gonna be doing more check-ins. But yeah, so if you don't have any questions, you're free to go. You're free to move out.
Hey, Mike, I got a question.
Mhm.
Is there a way to assign separate materials to different subtools or no?
Yeah, there is. So let's go. It's kind of like fake, because you're gonna like texture these like in Substance, you know.
Yeah.
But just as like a preview. So let's do these eyes, right? So that stuff is kind of handled on your material right here and your color. And you can like paint with color and stuff, but yeah, so if you go to material and click on this, you can get a bunch of different effects in here. If you wanted like something shiny, if you want something basic, you know. But let's see, let's get something nice in here. Let's do toy plastic for eyes. And then let's do a white color for that. And then you're gonna want to go to let's see, color and fill object. This might not fill with that just now. Let's test by going on to a different one. All right, and then this, let's do the shawl next. Let's give that a basic material. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So I think what we need to, because it's been a while since I've done this. Let's go back to toy plastic. Let's do mRGB in this section. Let's make sure that's highlighted in there. Then color, fill object. Boom. So that eyeball should be filled with that now. Let's see. Yeah, so see now when I change the color, the eyeball stays the same. Let's try to fill with basic material. Oh shit, how does this work? Yeah, so you can definitely fill color like that. One second, let me look up how to fill material though, because there's definitely a way. It should just be the MRGB, but one second. Mhm. Hmm. Hmm. It's always upsetting when it gives you the same exact steps that you just talked about. Mhm. Yeah, y'all are good to head out though. I'm just gonna be Googling David's thing because that's normally the workflow for how to get different materials on there, but something's not working about that. Hmm. Is it something like this? Okay. Might be material. See you later, Sammy. See you later, Tam.
All right. I'm gonna head off, Mike. Is there anything you want by, I guess, the next time we meet?
I would just say if I gave you notes, then definitely address those and submit those again. Again, you can do that on either Discord or Dropbox, or like DM or email me a video of that. Because I need to do your in progress grade, and then if you're starting a new piece, then I'd like to see something represented for that. Either just like a basic block out of like an animation, or like the model that you're going to try to model or something, whatever you want to do.
All right. Sounds cool. Thanks, Mike.
All right, no problem. David, this is like a write-up of the same thing, but it's literally the exact same steps that I just showed you, and they don't work. So I give it a go on your end, see if it does work for you. Maybe I'm fucking something up.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep digging around though. Yeah, dude, this is just straight up busted according to the internet. I hope it's working for you, David, but
It's not working for me either. It does the same material thing as the eyes did, like it colors one side, but then when I try to color something else, it just keeps it the same shade.
keeps it the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just straight up busted. I don't know what's going on here. Like I'm like looking through this help topic and everyone's saying the same thing. They're like, this shit doesn't work at all. And then like, I don't know. How is this not? Like David, when you're testing this stuff, because it's always talking about like everyone's going to mention mRGB. Like, so make sure you have that on and then go to color, fill object, and it's not going to like look like it does anything, you know. But like we'll know that it works when we like fill the object, and then if you go to the material with that same object you just filled selected, if we change material on that menu, but then it stays over here, then we'll know that it worked. Oh, what the fuck? It worked for the shawl. So the shawl freaking works. We were able to fill material on that. Weird. Can we just do that with anything? Fill object. Yeah, so this object works. Why does that object work, but the other ones don't? That is weird. That is super weird. Why did that one work, but then not anything else? Oh, weird. Okay. David, for whatever object you're trying to fill, make sure your masks are turned off. So control, then left click drag off of it. Yeah. And then also press control and shift and just left click in the void as well to make sure nothing's hidden, because that was what was preventing me from filling the eyes apparently. But now I think I'm free to fill with whatever. Okay, yeah. Let's do the same for this. Color, fill object. There we go. Let's test. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So that's how it works. We both must have just had something masked off or hidden.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me know if that works for you now.
All right, let me try. Okay, yeah, it worked. Cool.
Nice. Awesome.
Well, thank you, Mike.
No problem. No problem. All right. What's up, the rest of y'all? Y'all good for y'all good to head out? Y'all have more questions? What's up? What's up with y'all? Gressia's looking good. All right. Everyone else has been pretty quiet. But yeah, if y'all have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Hit me up wherever else. But yeah, alrighty. I will see y'all next week then. Because
See you next week.
See you then, man. See you then. It is 10 p.m. We went for a while tonight. All right.
Thanks, Mike.
No problem.